You might have said or heard somebody say one of these things. I will start investing when I have more money. I'll start investing next year. I'll start investing when the economy is better. I'll start investing when the economy is worse. Investing is risky. Why would I want to invest my money because tomorrow's not guaranteed? Well, instead of lecturing you that you should start investing, let me just show you why. Let's say you want to retire by 67 and you learn about this financial education and investing side of things very early. So you start investing at the age of 21, but you don't have a ton of money to invest. So you're only investing $100 a month, which by the way is less than $4 a day. And you also don't have a ton of knowledge on how to invest your money. So you just put your money into the stock market, which we know has averaged more than a 10% return a year, but I'm going to be generous. Let's say only 10% a year. Assuming that you never invest more money, even though you start earning more money at 25, you earn even more money at 30, you earn more money at 40 and 50 and beyond. Let's assume you only invest $100 a month. Well, because you started investing early, you are going to retire a millionaire with more than $1 million based off of your small $100 a month investment. But look at what happens if you don't start investing at 21. Let's say you start investing at 27, which is still super early. And now you start investing the same $100 a month because you say, hey, I'm still early to my investments. You get the same 10% annual return. Well, now you're not going to have $1 million. You're not going to have $750,000. You're going to have a little bit over $580,000. Still a lot of money, but you missed out on hundreds of thousands of dollars of wealth just by starting a little bit later. But what if you start a little bit after that? Let's say you start at 35, which in the grand scheme of things is still super young. You're still ahead of many Americans that don't start investing until way later. And if you say, I'm just going to invest the same $100 a month, well now, if you get the same 10% return, you're not going to have $500,000. You're not going to have $400,000. You're not going to have $300,000. You'll have a little bit over $250,000. A little bit over $250,000. If you start at 35, you would have to invest 4 times as much money. You'd have to invest about $400 a month to get to the same $1 million in retirement. Yes, very feasible. What I'm trying to show you is the later you start, the more aggressive you're going to have to be to build that wealth. It's not impossible, but this is why it's better to start sooner, even if it's just a little bit of money, because now you have the time value of money. You have your money compounding, working to build you more wealth. Money habit number 5, you're focused on what's in other people's wallets as opposed to your own. When I was in college, I became a real estate salesperson, and I found this couple that I worked with for months to help them find their dream home. And we had finally found this home. It was about $500,000. And now it's time for us to actually enter in the contract to actually purchase this house. And the couple sits me down and they say, Jaspreet, we're ready to close the house. We love the house. Thank you for all of your hard work for the last number of months. But we don't think that a college kid like you should have the full commission because it would have been about $15,000 paid by the seller. Instead, we, the buyers, believe that you should give us half of your commission. That way we actually buy the house. And I didn't really understand. I said, what do you mean? I put in all this work. And essentially, they wanted me to give them half of my commission. Now, I was young, I was a hardhead, but I decided to walk away from the deal. And the buyers ended up losing out on their dream house because they were focused on what I was getting as opposed to paying attention to what they could have gotten, which was their dream house. Now, the interesting thing was they had already signed a contract in the early days of us working together because they knew that I was going to get 3% of the purchase price of the house generally, and that price is paid for by the seller, not the buyer. They had already known this. It was just their way of now saying, hey, we're ready to close. Can you give us some of the money that you're going to make? Because we don't think you should make all this money. What I'm trying to show you is sometimes we get caught up in focusing on what other people are going to get. We get focused on, oh, if I buy this from you, you're going to make this money. You're getting rich, or rich people are evil. We start to create all these smoke screens and start to worry about other things as opposed to the value that we get. I want you to focus on you, because what other people are getting is not going to impact you. Somebody else getting rich doesn't prevent you from getting rich. Somebody else getting money doesn't stop you from getting money. You got to look at the value you're getting. Sometimes you can pay somebody $1 and get $2 of value in return. Maybe the value is in the form of convenience. Maybe the value is in the form of education. Maybe the value is in the form of some sort of knowledge to help you earn more money. Doesn't matter what it is, but if you want to become wealthy, you have to start thinking like the wealthy. Wealthy people don't become rich and wealthy and then start changing the way they think. You have to change the way you think to actually become wealthy, and wealthy people want to focus on the value that they get, and they're not caught up in what everybody else is getting. Money habit number 6 is you think twice before you invest in yourself. I get a lot of questions from people asking, Jaspreet, which book should I read? I don't want to buy the wrong books. Which classes should I get? I don't want to buy the wrong classes. Which programs should I take? I don't want to take the wrong programs. And we think so hard about investing in ourselves before we spend $20 investing in ourselves, or $200 or $2,000 investing in ourselves. We put in all this scrutiny, all this time, and all this effort thinking about how do we get the best return when it comes to investing in ourselves. But now let's flip the script a little bit. When it comes to buying, say, a $2,000 vacation, or going out with friends and spending a few $100s, how many times do we put in the same scrutiny, the same effort, the same questioning before we spend a few $100s on something for ourselves? New clothes, going out, a vacation. Oftentimes it's not that much. We will very freely, willy-nilly spend that money when it doesn't actually give you a return on your investment. But when it comes to your own investment in yourself that can have a real ROI, we start to really scrutinize that. And this is where I want you to start flipping the script. When it comes to investing in yourself, I want you to be a little bit more willing. Obviously, don't go and buy dumb things that you don't need, but be willing to invest in yourself, to learn, read more books, listen to more podcasts, buy more classes, take more programs that will actually help you, and use it. Don't just buy them and not use them. Please, please don't do that. Buy things that you're going to use. Buy classes that you're going to take. Buy books that you're going to read. And when it comes to spending money on things that you don't need, that aren't going to add value, now be a little bit more cautious on who you're spending time with, on how you're spending your time, on where you're spending your money. And finally, money habit number 7 is you have no buffer in your finances. The mistake that so many people make, because I've seen this now, I've been teaching financial education for about a decade, is as people make more money, they say that they're going to save more and invest more and be financially smarter. But what really happens is you make more money and then boop, your expenses magically go up as well. You make more money and then all of a sudden your liabilities go up. Why? Because number one, as you make more money, now you want a nicer car to show it off. You want a nicer apartment, a nicer house to show that, hey, I got a promotion, I got a nice bonus. And when you get that nice raise, well, you got to celebrate by going to Cancun. It's very common. It's very normal. It's what's average. But this is where you have to have a system. That way, as you make more money, you're also paying yourself more. I'll show you what I mean. A very simple rule that you can follow is something like 75, 15, 10, which says for every dollar that you earn from here on out, 75 cents is the maximum that you can spend. 15 cents is the minimum that you are investing, and 10 cents is the minimum that you're saving. That way, whether you make it $20,000 a year or $2 million a year, you're always saving more money. You're always working to invest more money. And you're always spending what's left. You're always paying yourself, and by paying yourself, I don't mean going to the Gucci store, I mean investing your money, because your investments are what will make you wealthy. Your investments are what will give you the financial freedom. Your savings are there to protect you against an emergency, because sometimes things go wrong and you want to have money to protect you. And now you have a true system in place. That way, as you start to earn more money through your career, because I know you're working to earn more money, you're working hard, well, now you're not just spending all that money. You're working to earn more money that we can build your wealth before you make everybody else's wealth. If you enjoyed this clip and you want to continue your financial education journey, I have another video that I think you'll love. All you got to do is click that button right over there. And for those of you who want to stay up to date on the top finance and business news, you can join Market Briefs, my free financial newsletter, by clicking that button below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.